Hurricane Helene is now one of the deadliest storms to ever hit the U.S. mainland, with countless videos and photos showing just how quickly it devastated communities hundreds of miles from the coast. Some communities were nearly totally wiped out, and there are numerous stories of entire buildings being swept up by the floodwaters Helene caused. Recovery could take months or even years in some places, and the next president plays a vital role in what that recovery process will look like when they take office in January. So let's talk about extreme weather, disaster recovery, and where both candidates stand, beginning with former President Donald Trump. The GOP nominee has continued to deny that climate change is real, despite decades of research and warnings that say otherwise. You've also probably heard about Project 2025, which is a handbook by the Heritage Foundation for the next Republican president. Trump has repeatedly distanced himself from this project, with both him and his campaign saying they are not working or coordinating with its makers. However, a line-by-line review by CBS News identified at least 270 of the 700 proposals in Project 2025 match Trump's past policies and current campaign promises. Among them is the proposal to eliminate any subsidies for electric vehicles and scale back on new emission limitations on gas-powered vehicles, which Trump has promised on the campaign trail and in campaign documents. That alone can be consequential when it comes to greenhouse gases, which are a primary driver of climate change. In 2022, the EPA found that transportation made up to 28% of all the greenhouse gas emissions in the U.S. Project 2025 could be detrimental to millions of Americans in the wake of extreme weather if implemented. It calls for stripping FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program, which is the main provider of flood insurance for Americans. It also wants to minimize climate research and services by NOAA and the National Weather Service, which is essential in better forecasting extreme weather conditions. Trump hasn't provided any specific policies related to climate change and extreme weather, but during his first term, he rolled back more than 125 rules and policies meant to protect the environment and lower greenhouse gas emissions, which fuel warmer temperatures that help create powerful storms like Helene. And in this election, the only climate-related policy he's really pushed for is to increase domestic energy production by, as he says, drill baby drill. He also has said that clean air and clean water are important to him, but drilling for oil not only causes pollution that impacts clean air and water, it also drives those planet-warming emissions that make storms like Helene more frequent and powerful. Now let's talk about Vice President Kamala Harris. She has said that the science is clear when it comes to climate change and that extreme weather will only get worse and the climate crisis will only accelerate. As VP, she was the tie-breaking vote to secure the Inflation Reduction Act, which included nearly $400 billion for climate solutions, including hurricane forecasting aircraft, assistance for distressed farmers, and energy infrastructure reinvestment that could help reduce power outages during extreme weather. She has also pushed for creating clean energy jobs and reducing energy costs for Americans. As extreme weather becomes more frequent and powerful because of climate change, federal assistance and accurate forecasting and research are more important than ever. Without adequate policy, more lives will be at risk, and many people will face a harder time recovering from the next disaster if they can at all. And that's what possibly makes 2024 the climate election.